workflow by applying data analytics across industry. I know most of us on this session today come from different backgrounds, different industry, different organization. So you can just, let's say, show me that you're in this session by typing in the industry you are joining us from, so that we can see if we are going to cover that within the session. If you're excited to be here, you can send a confetti like I'm doing right now as we start. Okay, so today's program is powered by Tenalytics Business. And what is Tenalytics Business? You might have heard of Tenalytics or Tenalytics Business, or you might have seen the flyer for today's program and was wondering what is Tenalytics Business all about. So Tenalytics Business is a leading e-learning platform designed to help organizations across the world empower their team with wide array of professional development options. That is, they are an e-learning platform that helps teams to build their professional skills and their professional ability and show them how to apply it in real world situation. And if you join Tenalytics Business or you partner with Tenalytics Business, you have access to top quality courses across different disciplines. And it addresses the continuous learning and development essentials needed for today's fast-paced business environment. So it just gives you the skill that are necessary to survive today's organizational environments and industrial environments. So I asked some of us to comment our industry or sector that we're joining in from, but I'm yet to see anyone. So you can just tap in and use the message icon. So yeah, more on Tenalytics. So over the past 5 years, Tenalytics have equipped 60,000 plus individuals across different roles, across Africa, across America, across Europe. We have helped 20,000 plus data analytics newbies to gain a role and to master the skill. We have helped 50,000 plus data science newbies. That is 50,000 plus people have been, let's say, equipped and have been given the necessary skills needed to get full data science related roles. And we have helped 10,000 plus business analysts. Like before they joined Tenalytics, they were not business analysts, but after coming through the program, they have been able to show their skills in business analysis. And we have helped 6,500 plus financial analysts, 3,000 plus HR analysts, all of this culminating to 60,000 participants from around the world. That is from Africa, from America, from Asia, and from Europe. And all of them have gone on to work in this organization, from Microsoft to Amazon, from firms within Africa to firms around the world, to Glo, to EXA, to all the big names. So you might see a data analyst or a data scientist in any of these companies. Just be suspicious when you see it. Just know that there's someone that might have. You have a chance that those people are people that graduated from one of our programs. So you might be seeing me and be wondering, who is this person that I've been talking so far? And by now you'd have noticed that I am much of a smiler. But smiling is not the only thing I'm good at. I'm a senior data science associate here at Tenalytics, and my name is Ifeanyi Nwobodom. I'm a results-driven data scientist with over 5+ years of experience delivering analytics and machine learning solutions. And I've worked across various industries in data science and AI, in sales, in healthcare, in security, in telecom, in IT. I've worked both in freelance role and in full-time roles. And I've supported clients in US, UK, Canada, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon to bring a global perspective to every project. So I'm also a 2-time Kaggle expert. I don't know if some of you might have heard of Kaggle. Kaggle is like a platform where data scientists and data analysts around the world come together to meet and like share ideas, participate in competitions, share data sets and the rest. So they saw it fit to give me the rank of a 2 times expert, and I'm skilled in Python, SQL, Tableau, Excel, Google Cloud, and I hold certifications from IBM, McKinsey, and Turing. And I serve currently as a senior data science associate here at Analytics, as I mentioned earlier, and I lead client projects and build scalable data workflow. And I've also been able to train over 500 professional data scientists who have gone on to land role and do great things in data science. I can also get some of your names. Some of you have introduced yourself in the chat box. I'll just read a few of that. Yeah, okay. Divine mentioned that is a student. Welcome, Divine. You are taking the right step by being in this platform. I also started as a data science when I was a student, actually, before moving on to industry. Peter said he works for an urban and regional planning firm. Okay. And John mentioned it's not working for now. Sorry about that. And Bishi mentioned that she's into public service. So as the topic earlier today implied, data analytics and workflow systems entirely can be applied across different industry, across different locations. And the thing is, when you are coming in as a data analyst or a data scientist into any organization, your background plays a key role in what you do. So you can join data analytics irrespective of your background, whether you have a technical background or a non-technical background, a science and non-science background, but your background thrives as a, let's say, an advantage in using your skills in industry. So that is, if you have an health background, you are open to positions that concern healthcare analytics. If you have a project management background and so on, they bring a new set of tools to the businesses. And that is why we mentioned that, and according to the talk, we mentioned that data analytics can be applied across different industry. So firstly, what is a workflow? So a workflow is a series of structured steps or tasks that are carried out to complete a specific process or achieve a particular goal. So in businesses, there are steps that they take to make a particular decision or achieve a particular goal. So let's say, for an example, if you want to start a building project, there are some bureaucratic processes they are meant to follow along with. You have to have a lawyer, you have to get the documents for the firms, you have to buy the land and register the land. And so before you start building, giving out the contracts, both engineer and non-engineering parts of the team. So these are what workflows represent. They are steps that you take when carrying out a specific process or a specific project. So why do you need to simplify your workflow? If workflows already exist, if industries have been using workflows since, why am I urging us to use data analytics to simplify this workflow? One of the key reasons is that workflows can be complex and inefficient across different industries, because some of the workflows that most of these industries rely on are something that were built before the present period. So some of them are outdated and some of them are, let's say, are restrictive. They are not as flexible to changes that are going on in the world right now. So workflows are complex and inefficient, and that's why you need data analytics to simplify this workflow. Another reason why you need to simplify your workflow is because they are time-consuming and manual processes that reduce productivity. So if you look at the step that I mentioned earlier, and if you look at it across different industries, there are some, let's say, more of rednecks and bottlenecks that stops a workflow from taking place efficiently. So it sometimes leads to time consumption. You spend too much time doing things that don't matter to the success of a particular project. And sometimes you make non-informed decisions. Like if you make some decisions that don't rely on data or they don't rely on experience, you might end up getting the worst out of every situation, especially if it becomes something that is systematic. That is, you create a system of workflows that are affected by these bottlenecks. So I also mentioned that you can simplify your workflow by using data analytics to transform how your tasks are executed. So right now, I want some of you to go to the chat box and mention some of the workflows that exist in the industry that are coming from, using the knowledge of what you understand so far of what workflows are and bottlenecks that might exist in this different workflow. And while you are at it, in the chat box, you see that my colleagues have dropped the attendance form. You can do well to fill it so that we can, let's say, acknowledge your presence within this our session. So some of the bottlenecks that exist in some of this industry is that they are repetitive and manual tasks. They are data silos with poor visibility. That is, data silos are like storage places for data in a particular organization. So because of sometimes there's let's say barriers to access to these data flows, it might lead people to be reluctant to using data in making decisions within the firm. And this will lead to inefficient decision making and poor resource allocation. So data analytics can make these things easier. So why should we use data analytics for workflow optimization? We can use it to automate tasks and automate routine tasks. That are tasks that you know that follows repetitive process. If you are skilled in data analytics, you can connect these tasks to different stages of your workflow and make sure that some of them are automated without having to rely on manual labor. Because if you remember, one of the bottlenecks I mentioned earlier was manual tasks, too many manual repetitive tasks. Another way you can use data analytics to optimize your workflow is by gaining real-time insights from your data. So if you are skilled in data analytics, you can connect your dashboards and insights to data. This part of the organization can have access to the data and know what those data are saying and make useful decision with those data. And this can be done in a real-time process. That is, everyone can get the latest information as soon as they need them. You can also use data analytics to track performance at different stages of the workflow. So from the beginning to the end, you have different systems in place to track the performance of each person involved in the project and each steps required to achieve the goals of each of those projects. And it can also be used for forecasting and resource planning, so you don't make too much mistakes when planning and making decisions concerning cost, profits, expenses, and so on. You can use data analytics tools and data analytics model to make efficient forecasts. So 10 Analytics Business is having an open program sometime soon. And to gain more information, you should wait to the end of my presentation. So you will learn key skills like data analytics, data science that can use to improve your workflow within the open program. So these are different ways that we can use these workflows across different industries. So for the sake of this session, I'll just focus on healthcare, finance, manufacturing, and retail. So let's start with healthcare. So how can you use data analytics in healthcare sector to optimize performance? So how has this been used so far? So far, it has been used for patient flow optimization and predictive care. So these are technical terms with regards to healthcare. By patient flow optimization, they mean the different process during the life cycle of a patient within the healthcare, let's say, firm that we are looking at. So for example, in an hospital, from the registration to the to the treatment and to the checkout of a particular patient. You can optimize each process, each part of that process using data analytics. And you can also use for predictive care. You can predict sicknesses of each of the patients. You can predict the chances of a patient having a sickness like, let's say, cancer or diabetes based on both genetic and demographic informations. And some of the workflows that have been used along with data analytics to do this are Senna. So if you are in the healthcare industry, you know what Senna is about. So Senna is also a workflow tool that is used to organize different steps in tasks that are done within the health system. Another one is Epic. Epic is another workflow tool used within the healthcare sector that you can connect to data analytics tools and use them for efficient decision making. And the next sector is finance. In finance, it is used for fraud detection and risk modeling. So if you are I'm sorry, I'm getting a disturbance from the class. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. DK, I might have to mute your mic. So it can be used for fraud detection and risk modeling. So if you want to know the risk of somebody defaulting on loan, or risk of a person, or risk of a particular stock market price dropping or increasing, a particular stock dropping or increasing, it can be used to model that particular risk using the different factors that might affect the price, or the different factors that might affect loan defaults by a particular individual. It can also be used for fraud detection and security enhancement. So if you have information about different fraud cases that have happened from the past so far, we can use it to predict other fraud cases that might happen in the future. So some of the tools that are used in finance sector for workflow optimization using data analytics are Appian. Appian is one of them, and nCino is another one. So if you are from the finance sector, or maybe are studying in finance-related field, you might have heard of some of these platforms. So you can use data analytics within this platform to optimize workflows in finance. So another sector where data analytics is used to optimize workflow is the manufacturing sector. So in the manufacturing sector, it is used for, in the manufacturing sector, it is used for process optimization and predictive maintenance. So by process optimization, I refer to the different process during the manufacturing process, from getting the raw materials to payment of workers to transforming those raw materials into finished goods. Data analytics can be used in each step of this workflow to improve their performance, and it can also be used for predictive maintenance. So you can get data on each of the tools or each of the machineries that are used within the organization, and use this data to predict when let's say, a particular product will have faults, or when it is due for maintenance. So please, I'll appreciate it if we all mute our mic unless we are called upon, so as not to disturb the flow of this session. And please try to fill the attendance form that is in the chat right now. So in manufacturing sector, we use data analytics to this workflow tools like Tulip and CMN computer system. So if you are someone that have an engineering background, you might have heard of some of these tools. So these tools are used to monitor the production process and industry equipment performance. So you can connect these tools, like the information gained from these tools, to different data analytics platform, and use the data from them to make better decision. And you can use it to optimize the process in the manufacturing system and for predictive maintenance. So data analytics is also used in the retail sector, and it's used for inventory planning and customer behavior trend. So if you are someone that know of Shopify, in Shopify, you have a particular page for analytics where you can track how many people got your goods, from what region you have the most sales, how much have you made from each of the sale, and how do you improve your whole sales system. So, okay, Evelyn said the form is unavailable. So the form is, okay, Treasure, please, can you drop the form again so that they can see it? I think she's just joining us right now. So how do you use data analytics in your workflow? I've mentioned how it have been used and what it has been used for, and some of the tools that have been used for it. But how do you use it to optimize your workflow? So you can use it in few basic steps. You think of the problem they are trying to solve, you identify it and track that particular problem. So there might be different ways of tracking it. You can track it manually. You might have somebody within the organization that his job is to identify and track this problem. Or some of these machineries and some of these tools and softwares are built for tracking these problems. And those were the tools that I mentioned in the former slides. And when you get the information or the data about this problem, you can collect them and store them somewhere. Then after storing the data might not be in a form that is ready for analysis. So you have to clean the data, then analyze the data. So in data analytics, when we talk about data cleaning, we mean converting the data to a form that can be used for analysis. So the data you might get might not be in the form that you need it, because sometimes these products were made not for analyzing the data, but just for tracking the data. And each of those data sets that you get might not be in a clean form, and that's why you need to clean it, they analyze it. Then when you analyze the data, you can improve each of the process in your workflow. And after that, you can automate and monitor. So in these data analytics tools, there are ways that you can ensure that the tools update with each new data that comes into the system. And when that happens, different stakeholders within the organization can monitor the progress of their tasks and process of their workflow. So these are the 4 main steps that you can take when trying to use data analytics to optimize your workflow. So I'll repeat it again. You identify and track the problem. You collect relevant data about the problem. You clean and analyze the data. Then you automate and monitor. So the short form usually used within the industry is ICA, that is ICCA, that is identify, collect, clean, and automate. Identify, collect, clean, and automate. So what are the tips for success? What are the best practices for you to seamlessly implement these strategies I have mentioned? The first one is that you can start small and scale up from there. So if you want to start this process, don't think that you can do everything once, or you can make it as efficient as possible within your first try. So you can start by making basic steps to implement these strategies. So the first step you can start with is just finding a way to monitor each of the each of the data that is important in your workflow. So it might mean setting up tools that does this automatically, or getting softwares that tracks the sources of your workflow. Then from there, you can scale up, that you can move to bigger things, making sure that the organization have different system in place to analyze the data that gotten from there, and making it something that becomes systematic and not just an one-off thing. So you have to start small. Then from that small that I've started, you would scale up. Another step you can take is to get stakeholders to buy in early. Because if you decide to start small or even start big, if the different stakeholders does not approve of this process, maybe they don't approve of the way you treat the data or the privacy of the data and so on. You can find a way to get them to buy into this idea by convincing them, or you can make a session like the one I'm doing now where you create slides to try to convince them to buy into this idea, and make sure you ensure that they buy in early. The next step is to prioritize clean and quality data. Let's say the output of any of your analysis, or the quality of the insights you gain from each of your analysis depends on how clean and quality the data you use for analysis is. So you have to prioritize that the data is clean and is quality. So we are putting in systems in place to collect data for your analysis. Make sure that the process ensures that the data you get from your analysis are clean and quality. And if they are not, you put system in place, or you have to clean the data manually, or look for more automated form in cleaning said data. And the last step is to make sure you choose the right tools for your team. So you want a situation that you are using the best tool possible to get the best out of your data and the best out of your team. You wouldn't want to use outdated systems or outdated software to improve processes, in a dynamic world. So you want to make sure that the tools that you are using within this system are the best and the latest tools, and ensure that the ones that can easily be integrated into your team and your team can synchronize with efficiently. So that being said, I'm going to hand over to my colleague to take over from here. Treasure, are you there?
All right, thank you so much. Before we move over to the next session, what's the tone in the house right now? A lot of information have been passed across, and the house has been very, very quiet. Are there any questions? Are there any things that you probably did not get or do not understand? Now would be a good time to ask your question, because we're going to ask questions, and if you're able to respond to these questions, there will be a prize for you at the end of the session. So if you have any questions, it would be a good time right now to ask your question. Are there no questions so far? All right, if there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead to ask questions.
Hello.
So when it comes to your data analytics workflow, what is the acronym that your facilitator mentioned for your data analytics workflow? Oh, what are we learning today? That's very interesting. Okay, Eniola Aika, that's amazing. We're learning about workflows and how it can help improve your various industries. So please, Koinsola, please just take over and mention or capture the name Eniola. So what does ICA mean? Because he mentioned ICA. Who can tell me what ICA mean? Identify. Yes, thank you, Eniola. Is it only Eniola we have, or is it only Eniola that learned in today's session? Collect. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Any other person before we get right into it? Clean, automate, analyze. Okay, Kende. Yeah, Kende, please, let's have you. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. Analyze.
Analyze. You only mentioned one. He mentioned four. There is ICCA. So, and you already have some, let's call it expo right now in the chat. So what is ICCA, Kende? Yeah, go on, Kende.
ICCA, that's the acronym mentioned today.
Yes, so, what does it stand for?
Okay, the to collect data, to analyze data, then to clean data. Do I get it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
to, I think we're missing the first one. We're missing the very first one. There are 4. Who can mention the 4? It's literally in the chat. Like, this is broad daylight robbery. If you can see it in the chat.
Identify, clean, collect, clean,
clean,
analyze.
analyze.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I'll just call you Osato and Charity.
Yes.
Eniola, please let's take Eniola, Osato, and Charity. Very, very well done. That means we have people following in this session. Okay, so he mentioned, you can go ahead to mute your mic. So he mentioned 4 industries that we're going to be looking at today for the data analytics aspect. When talking about workflow, who can mention the 4 industries we spoke on today in today's session? Health, finance. Okay, let's do it like this before everyone is typing in the chat, so it's a fair game. I will need someone to raise their hand. Please raise your hand if you want to speak before we proceed to taking that. Okay. So let's take Lucy. I don't think Lucy has spoken on this call. Hi, Lucy. Are you there? Hi, Lucy. Are you there? Okay. The Zoom, she's not there. Eniola, are you on this? Okay. Eniola, yes. Please go on.
I'm on this call. Good evening.
Good evening. Please go on. So, what were the 4 industries he spoke?
You asked. Yeah, the 4 industries you mentioned, they were healthcare, finance, manufacturing, and retail.
Absolutely amazing. Please, yes, I got that. Well done. That's a very good one. Okay, so let's move over to the next one. So he mentioned specific tools that we can use for data analytics in action for the manufacturing industry. What tools can you use to simplify your workflow for manufacturing industry? Who can mention that?
Can I still say it?
No. Thank you very much, Eniola. Eniola, you look like those student that stays at the front of the class and is responding to all the questions. Thank you so much. Let's have someone else. Let's go Charity. I can see your hands raised. I don't know if it's for this question or the previous one. Hi, Charity. Are you there? Okay. Osinachi, are you there? Osinachi, are you there? Okay, it looks like you guys want me to give Eniola the prize. Okay, Eniola, please, save the class since you're the one that's going to build the carts. Please go on. What are the 2 major tools he mentioned for, automating workflow, especially in the manufacturing industry? Eniola, are you there? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Yeah, audible enough.
Okay.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah, for the manufacturing sector, he mentioned that there are 2. He mentioned 2. He said Tulip and Siemens for manufacturing. SIEMENS, Siemens. I don't think I pronounced it well.
This is our BGS for this webinar session. That is amazing. Please, let's support him. He did really, really well. Well done, Eniola. Please, let's just take note of his name so that, after, please make sure that you also fill out the attendance form. That's the only way we can get your details, if you responded in the class so far. So that means we have someone that's actually listening. I'm very sure other people might have been listening as well, but it's really good for you to participate. The whole point of the webinar is for you to get some level of insight that helps you in your day-to-day activities. And right now on this call, we have a mix of different individuals from different sectors, finance, manufacturing. We even have students, okay? So, as people in the workforce, please let's encourage the other individuals that are on this call by also taking notes and learning. So I'm going to go ahead to share my screen and just quickly talk about a particular workflow automation. So I'm going to show you what a workflow automation looks like. Personally, I make use of 2, will I call it workflows? So I make use of N8N, and this is like how it would typically look like. And I also make use of Lindy AI. So these are two workflow automation tools that are being used like when it comes for different tasks. And the good part about this workflow automation tools is that it's not only fixated to one type of industry. So even if you are a finance person, you are in customer care, whatever industry you have to be working in, you have the opportunity to make use of this workflow automation. The good part about it is if you are looking for a job, it works for you. If you are looking to, let's say you're HR personnel and you have different applications coming in and you don't have the time to look at over 100 applications, you want, for the automation flow to just look at it, scan it, and just choose the best applicant. That's why we have the ATS system and all that. It's also part of the workflow automation. If you're in the manufacturing industry and you set different criteria for testing and quality assurance, I don't know if that's a question, but I'll take everyone's question once I'm done with this slide presentation. So if you are in the manufacturing industry and you do a lot of quality assurance, you set criteria for things to be reviewed before products go out, you can make use of workflow automation. If it has specification, if it has any information in that regard, it can be done in that manner. Okay, so even if you are in the hospitality industry, okay, let's say you have hotels, resorts, and you want to know, or you want to send out emails, okay, if you're in marketing and you want to automate your the marketing flow, especially for emails, you can do it using this tool. So the two main tools that I typically use is Anyten and Lindy AI. So I'm just showing you right now a typical screenshot. Let's say for an individual that is looking to get a job, okay, and you do not have time to go to LinkedIn to apply 1 million times, you cannot be tailoring your resumes, you want to make it easy for yourself, you want Anyten to be able to go and grab information for the last 24 hours and do the application on your behalf. This is a typical workflow that you can get done. So all you need to do basically is to go on in Anyten and register your account. Once you've sorted that out, you schedule triggers. So for the triggers, basically it asks you how many days do you want, how many times in a day do you want it to go into LinkedIn, go to Glassdoor, go to whatever job website to grab information, and then basically do the application on your behalf. So you can trigger. Please, let's share the attendance form, Consola, on the call. Thank you so much. So you can schedule the trigger to do it either once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. Whatever, please, let's keep our mic muted so that I'm not distracted on the call. Okay, thank you very much. So you can schedule the timing for as many for as many times in a day you want it to be done. So if you want it to be done every 24 hours or every 6 hours, you schedule the trigger. And once you schedule the trigger, the next step is for you to basically schedule it to scrape data for the last 24 hours. So you put in the different websites that you want it to scrape data from, whether it's from LinkedIn, whether it's from Glassdoor, Indeed, all the job boards that you want to get data from. So the good part about it is you're not just restricted to Nigerian jobs. You can get jobs from, countries abroad. You just need to have all the job board links updated on this particular aspect for Anyten and to scrape the data. The next step is going to feed into extracting the specific job links that you want, so you're going to give it like a trigger, so to say. So there'll be a criteria. So let's say I'm a project manager. I'm looking for project manager roles, okay? So I would give it a list of job titles for it to scrape for me. So is it project manager, scrum master, data analyst, business analyst, all the different job titles that you want, you specify, okay? You specify your salary range that you're looking for, you specify all this, very important information, and then it will bring out those particular jobs from the website. After that, it's going to split it into different sections. Once you split it into different sections, you can either add ChatGPT at this point to review the JD, and you'd also have what we call like a master resume format. So for your master resume, it would have all the experience that you've done so far, whether your project experience, your professional experience, all the information you have so far would be in your master resume. Your master resume can be up to 10 pages, okay? But the good part about the master resume is this is not the document that you're sending across to recruiters. This is the documents that enables ChatGPT to extract as much information from that resume and then tailor it to the typical 2-page resume that you'd have go through Anyten and go through the workflow automation. So once you have that, your ChatGPT would now have different prompts. So this is where you can prompt ChatGPT to give you a good prompt for you to make use in terms of comparing the information between the JD as well as the master resume. Once it has compared those two information, it's now going to spit out a tailored resume. Once you have the tailored resume, you can have it feed into another document, which will be a Google Sheet. So you can have it tailor resume for you. You can have it create a cover letter for you, and then it feeds into a Google Sheet doc with this information, with the job link, with the tailored resume, with your cover letter, all that to be found in the Google Sheet doc. So from there, all you need to do is just go ahead to apply. The good part is if you have the job link directly, it can do the application on your behalf. So you need to see, this is just me giving you a typical example on just something as simple as job application. Everybody's looking to get the next good job and all that, but we don't have time. Either as a student, either as a working professional, you need to work smarter and not harder. And that's why we have all this workflow automation. So these are simple ways to just simplify the tasks you have going on. And then, at the end of the day, you're probably doing other activities while applications are going out for you. If you're in HR, you want to review 1,000 applications, you have that done in a workflow automation, and it's done as fast as possible. So these are some of the benefits that you have from workflow automation. Okay, I don't know if there are any questions at this point before we move on. Are there any questions? Does anyone need any clarification so far? Okay, I'll take that as no questions. So before I move on to the next, part of the presentation, Okay, Eniola, please go on.
Okay, sorry, good evening. Sorry, my network has been acting up. Actually, you mentioned about the automation. I don't know if I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. The thing is, I just want to ask, maybe I should even wait. The thing is he only in all of these aforementioned industries? Now, my question is just like this. I am a data analyst, as it were.
Okay.
I am a data analyst, but the thing is, I've been hearing about automation. Now, can it be applicable in this sense to whereby where you get your data, do the cleaning, exploration, analysis, visualization, and reporting? Is there an automation tool that can do that same thing, or is not applicable to this part of the question I just asked now? Like an automation that would collect the data, clean the data, that kind of thing. Is it like that too? Does it work like that too?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So we don't have we have the process to be automated itself, but there is no fixed data tool that can, take out that information, clean the data, all that. We can automate the process end to end. These are things that you will learn in Excel and Power BI. There's a way to automate your report. So let's say a way to get your data. Once you've gotten your messy data and you need to get it cleaned, you can automate the cleaning. You can automate the cleaning aspect. So if you have all those unreadable characters, you have let's say the date and the range not properly properly put in there, you can have the access of you can have that process also fixed and clean. And then before it moves over to the analytics aspects and proper visualization. So there's you can automate the process end to end, but there are other specific tools you can use on this regard. I don't know if Ifeanyi is here. He also wants to speak on that as well. Ifeanyi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So
Okay.
when it comes to data analytics in general, there are different ways you can automate the process. And one thing you can actually do is you can use other automation tools to automate different parts of the process. So there's something like Notion. You can use Notion for scheduling part of your automation process. There's a way you can use Notion to even make sure that any data that comes in, it moves to source. It moves to so place to store the data, then it moves from that place to another place where you can analyze the data and so on. And you can also use data analytics specific tools to do this thing, because now, yes, Eniola Notion, that's the spelling. It actually requires a subscription. That's why I mentioned that it is a little bit different from the other automation tools. And most of the automation tools actually require subscription. So another thing you can actually do is use the tool itself for that automation process. So something like Power BI, if you connect Power BI to a particular dashboard, you can make it in a way that anytime data is processed, anytime data is connected to or is added to the source that used to create that dashboard, the dashboard, will I say, updates automatically, and the data retrieval process also automates, and so on. So you can use those tools themselves for automation, and you can use third-party tools to automate data analytics process. I don't know if that answers your question, Eniola. Okay, thank you very much, Eniola. Okay, Treasure,
All right.
you can go on.
Okay, thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Are there any other questions before we move on to the next aspect of the presentation? Yes, Oluwashe, please go on.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. As a follow-up to Oniola's question and answer from Ifeanyi, the automation of Power BI, will it also, update the visualization? Will it also update the visualization of the data, the dashboard?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
it does that. Okay, you can go ahead, Treasure.
Yeah, so basically all you need to do is, if you are creating a live dashboard, it's going to feed into the sheet, and as you are updating the information on the sheet, whatever information that is updated there and is feeding into the dashboard would also update in real time. So it depends on how you create the workflow and how you create the automation process. That determines if you're going to get it in real time or not. So you have to automate that process and put it in place for you to get it in real time. Ifeanyi, you can also contribute to this as well.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, yes, it automates the dashboard itself. Anytime the data, let's say the data source is being updated. So, and also, let's say in a sense, automates the insights, because if a stakeholder wants to make any decision from the data, he wouldn't want a situation where he has to meet the data analyst from time to time to make those decisions. So if you automate that process, the stakeholder can act immediately. He does not have to say, oh, I checked this in last 2 weeks. If I go back to the dashboard, I think my dashboard it will be let's say a cake by now, or it will be outdated by now. I know my data analyst has already put a process to ensure that each time I need anything from my data, it is showing me the most recent information. And anytime you create those kind of automation, it's best also put a time cap, so that you can make it update every five minutes, every 1 hour. And let's say the nearer the automation time, the costlier it becomes, or the heavier it becomes, that the computational process becomes stronger. And you wouldn't want it to be something that obtains within a time that is too short, because if the time becomes too short, sometimes it can get messiness in within that short period of time. So you want a process, we want a situation where each time it's up, let's say you make it updates every 1 hour. If it is 1 hour, you know that by that time, if there's any part of the data that needs to be cleaned more, this workflow that I have created in place would be able to recognize and clean that process before it updates the dashboard. But if the time is too short, it might make it look for loopholes in optimizing the process and end up showing you, let's say, something that is unfinished in the dashboard. So you give it a time span which it's used to update. Shay, I don't know if I was able to answer your question.
Yes. You were able to answer my question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, all right. Osage, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Osage Abraham, sorry. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Is that a question? Is that a question? Abraham, please go on.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, but your voice is very faint.
Okay. Okay. My name is Abraham. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. My name is Abraham. Currently, I'm taking in data analytics, but I'm very slow in the courses. I'm very slow because I'm kind of swamped with work. I'm also kind of swamped with other creative activity. So that but just going through the kind of modules kind of make me it looks as if to just group up together. So, so, so please, here's my question. Because earlier in your lesson, you were talking of practices is of how to be proficient in data analysis. We should start small. Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go on.
Yes. We should start at the small time before we go to the big time. But here I am from my side.
Mm.
The class it can be so overwhelming with other activities of life. So what it is, from your own experience, what do you think any student in taking a data analysis should be more prepared for? Because this in I for one wasn't prepared to be swamped with so many things. There's a must do with this certain thing. I just thought it was just maybe once a page a day, once a page a week. But now it's almost like every day I must go back to go and check such a thing. So I just want to know how to be and to just get the maximum retention benefit of how to do data analysis. As a step.
All right. Thank you so much, Abraham. Well, thank you for sharing. I understand like majority of your concerns that you've mentioned, and that's some of the things that we. Okay. Yeah, we'll have a few more questions, and at 9 p.m. I'll continue. But I basically want to get a feel of what the audience that are taking the session also gets to feel. So quickly, Abraham, to your question, we basically understand that a lot of people on this call are working professional students and all of that. Okay. I know you are currently taking the data analytics training, but when it comes to being able to manage time, it boils down to two factors. Okay. So the activities that you have ongoing, it's now about how you can prioritize and basically what works for you. So for individuals that have like basically swamped with work or any other activities, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but you're already taking one. We have a program and it's always tailored to those particular professionals. The idea behind it is we know that you basically have to go to work or you have to go to school and things in that regard. So what we do is we have our classes in 3 modes. Okay, so basically what you would do is you have the self-paced aspect. For the self-paced aspect, you basically be learning at your own convenience. If you go to work by 7 a.m. and you're back by 8 p.m. and you want to watch your videos between 9 and 10 p.m., you can go click watch the first video and that's it for that day. On Tuesday, you come back, you click watch another video, that's it for that day. That's the plan. If you now have like your live classes, when you have your live classes, rather, the classes are always recorded, just like this particular webinar we have so far. So you get to watch the recording at your own convenience if you cannot join at your own pace. Okay, and then basically what we do is you also have access to the facilitators at every point in time. So even if you join the class and you can't learn or you don't understand, you are so busy, you can always reach out to the facilitator and they would have like a one-on-one session just to guide you through the process. Going back to Ifeanyi's point about starting small, it's so much easier to say, oh, I've learned data analytics, I know how to use Excel, I know how to use Power BI. Where is your evidence? If you don't have evidence of these activities, it's as good as wasted money. And that's what we try to, correct in Tenalytics and Tenalytics business. Okay, you need to have receipt of these activities. Okay, you've gone through Excel. How many dashboards have you created? How many? And you ask, okay, well, how do I get those projects? How do I go about it? I don't have access to this information. Trust me, go online. There are a lot of messy data for you to clean and create those dashboards. Okay, you can reach out to like volunteering sites, volunteer to work on these projects. Okay, you can work in groups. And the basic thing is, if you're not posting those information out there, nobody's ever going to see that you've learned data analytics. People are always saying, why are you posting on LinkedIn? Every day, we are seeing your LinkedIn. It is a strategy. Nothing is done without reason. So in as much as you are doing and learning data analytics, you also need to, get the practical aspects, put yourself out there, and that would be the best way for you to learn and unlearn. Okay, so in managing the activities, you just need to prioritize. And like I said, you're already taking a data analytics program, but if you want to take with us, you also have the opportunity to work at your own pace. Yeah, I hope that clarifies so far.
It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Abraham. So I think that's the amount of questions I'm going to take before moving over to the next session, so that we don't hold up people for too long. And I want to make sure that we are as interactive as possible. And this is majorly going to speak to a lot of the pain points that individuals have raised in this particular session. So I'm going to pull up my screen so we can continue with the presentation. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, guys. So please, before I continue, there's not the feedback form, rather, the attendance form in the chat. Please ensure to fill that form. It's very, very important. So for those of you that also want clarity or clarification for certain aspects, could be in regards to your data analytics career, it could be in regards how to go about training. If you don't fill the form, there's no way for us to reach out to you. So you might not want to speak on a grand call like this, but there are certain information or certain things you need clarity on. We need your details in the attendance form. Okay, so Abraham, please can you mute your mic so I'm not distracted?
Okay.
All right, so now basically we're going to be talking about analytics business and what we do, and basically the training we'll be having upcoming. We've spoken a lot about data analytics, automation, workflow, all those. How do you go about it now? Okay, it's one thing to talk about all these different aspects, but if you don't key into it and start implementing as soon as possible, this will just be another webinar that you joined, listened in, and you go back to your day-to-day activities. What value did you get out of it? And that's what I want to capture in this. Like in a couple of minutes, I'll be done. Okay, so tonight's business, like Ifeanyi mentioned, and I'm going to reiterate, we try to ensure that we tailor all our course content to individuals, making sure that you have the best value for money. And this is not us just talking without data and all that. It is backed up by data. So like I mentioned again, we have different professionals and students on this call, and we know that everybody is really busy with different activities in life, but you want to get the skills, you want to get better, either to move to another job or to also get jobs abroad, remote jobs abroad. You also want to get a higher pay and all that. How do you go about it? So Analytics Business will basically provide you with access to strong support and a community to do that. Okay, so for individuals that are interested in learning data analytics specifically and other courses, what we do is to give you a tailored course content. So if you want to learn Excel, Power BI, please just follow me along. We give you something tailored to your industry. If you're in finance, if you're in manufacturing, whatever industry you are basically working in, you have tailored case studies that you'll be working with end to end. Okay, another really important aspect of this is you'll be doing practical aspects. All these ones that I'm mentioning, go and see, this is what the workflow looks like, this is what you need to do. It will be very, very different. We would go into N8N itself. We would create the workflow from start, how to schedule the trigger, how to plug it into ChatGPT. All that will be carried along end to end. If it's to create a dashboard, you get a case study with a data set. The data set will be messy with a lot of information that needs cleaning. You do the data cleaning, you get the dashboard. If you want to have beautiful looking dashboards, basically you'll be able to get different type of dashboard. So if you come on Google and you're seeing all this type of dashboard and you're wondering what type of magic did someone create to have this type of dashboard, trust me, it is the easiest thing that you can possibly do. But you need to, enroll and learn those skills for you to be able to achieve it. So another important aspect is we basically try to make sure our training is tailored to individuals, depending on your role. Sorry, I'm getting some feedback. So depending on your role, even if you're a student, working professional, whatever role you are, you get to learn end to end. Okay, it's a practical session, and good part about it is it doesn't take so long at all. Okay, so the training could be like 3 days to 3 weeks. We have that done, and you are on your way with your certificate. What would not encourage you to do is to ensure that you post all those information you have. So if you create a dashboard, it's always good to have it out there that you've done it, and this is what you'll be able to do so far. So moving on, like I said, we work with different industries: finance, FMCG, oil and gas, telecommunication, all that has been done. So these are some of the organizations we've worked with from the corporate aspect. But from student aspects as well, we've helped individuals land roles in the UK, US, Canada, and all that from the tech skills that we train them on. So we worked with organizations like Fair Money, Health Holding, Cowrie, TGI, Nigerian Breweries, and Mikano Motors. So basically, this is the most important aspect of this conversation. So by July 30th, that's basically next week, Wednesday, we're going to be starting the next cohort for data analytics and reporting system. So all that I've been mentioning so far, workflow, Excel, Power BI, all that will be trained end to end. Okay. So if you're taking the training, you'll be learning how to build dashboards on Excel as well as Power BI. You also be learning how to automate. For the individual is asking, how do I automate in data analytics? You'll be learning how to automate data cleaning and integration. You also be learning how to design real-time dashboard. Going back to the question for the individual that was asking, oh, am I going to be getting the information in real time? 100%. You'll be learning how to build those type of dashboard. And for CEOs, HRs that we have on the call, you'll be learning how to drive decision based off the visualization for the dashboards that have been created end to end, from storytelling, from data storytelling will be taught here. So you'd have access to the course materials. We also have information on the certificates. You'll be working on different projects end to end. You have access to all that information. My colleagues will be dropping the link to the open program so you can also see it. This is the website that hosts this information. It's going to be a 3-day to have access to them for 3 months, but for the next 3 days you'll be learning different information. So basically what you'll be learning here is basic introduction to data and Excel skills. So for the individual that mentioned that, oh, it's you're working, you don't have time to learn so much, we are able to cut down into short modules, okay, where you get to watch the videos and also practice on a day-by-day scale. You'd also be learning Power BI, as a tool itself, how to connect your data using Power Query. You'll be learning how to create a business dashboard, how to do data storytelling with different visuals, how to have filters, slicers, and make reports in Power BI. These are very, very important tools. And the good part about data analytics is data is the powerhouse of every business. If you are not analyzing your data, you basically cannot make any insightful information from that. And that's fact. You just be working blindly. And this is why it's very, very important that you train your staff, regardless of whatever sector they are in. Even if it's someone as customer representative or sales, or if it's something more technical like finance or manufacturing, everybody works with data. And that is why it's very, very important for them to have these key skills, to help your business take it to the next level. And this is what we have for for data analytics. We'll also be having access to the LMS system. So for the LMS, you basically be able to watch different videos. So if you are not able to, join the session for whatever reason, you have access to those videos to go over it at whatever point in time that you want to go over those videos. You'd have assessments, okay, pre-assessment and post-assessment. So once you have those assessments taken, you can also discuss with other individuals in your group to basically see end-to-end, the activities that you've been working on so far. And then basically, you can reach out to your facilitators to ask questions, okay? So for the questions, you'll be able to ask different type of questions to your facilitator. There'll be drop-in sessions for you to do, and then you have access to the certificates at the end of the day. You'd also be working on case studies and projects, okay? So the projects that you'll be working on for those dashboards that you're building, if you tag 10 Analytics, you tag 10 Analytics Business, you are going to amplify your viewing on your particular project, because we'll always comment on your project. That means you have possibilities of getting access to recruiters, reaching out to you based off the course you are able to take. And this is just very good PR for your brand. If you check our page, you see that someone that was 18 years old, that basically just finished school, was able to land a job after taking the course. That's how fantastic it works. So basically, these are what you'll be working on Tenalytics business for the open program. So like I also mentioned to you that you'll be watching some videos. So these are the videos that you'll be working with. You'll be working with things like data analytics, what's data, type of data, you take your assessment, access to the sheet, access to the spreadsheet, how to navigate, how to make use of different tools, how to edit data, data cleaning and function, all the functions. So this is just a taster. So you can see that, we have videos that you can also watch end to end on this particular aspect. So that's some of the information you'll be working with here. Let's move over to the presentation. So it is very, very important. We have like very limited slots left, because literally the program starts on Wednesday, and by Monday we stop taking any form of payments. So it's at a discounted price of 150,000 naira. So 150,000 naira is a very, I would say, little amount for the investment you'll be getting, or the return on investment you'll be getting. So 150,000 naira, you make payments, you do the registration. Once you are registered fully, you have access to those videos that I just showed you. And by Wednesday, you have access to the facilitator that will be taking you on the class end to end. That's for the open program. This is for the corporates and individuals that are working or are out of school. Now, over to the students, okay? Even people that are working, that want their students, their children to, start getting to learn about data analytics and AI, because they say AI is the future. We have not left you out of the conversation. So basically, as part of our CSR, we're looking to also upskill students, okay? But their training will be for 3 weeks and not 3 days. So starting between August 11th to August 25th, they'll be learning about data analytics, they'll be learning about AI, they'll be learning about the different LLM tools, so ChatGPT, Claude AI, Julius AI, all that will be taught in this particular class. You'd have access to 3 weeks live virtual workshop. Would also be helping you with like employability skills, like LinkedIn optimization, CV review. You'd also have access to the LMS for 3 months as well. If this is of interest to you or your ward, your family member, could be brother, niece, uncle, brother, niece, nephew, whatever individual you think this would be beneficial to, you can also share with them. So this is the Students Open Program, and they would also, start to learn this. It's also very, very important that individuals, especially kids at that age, start getting this information as soon as possible. The good part is, a lot of schools are on break, and to be a good point for them to, get these activities done while on break. So this is something that you need to grab as soon as possible. Get them enrolled. If you have, multiple individuals you want to have enrolled on either of the programs, there are more discounts to be given. So taking it back to the open program for corporate, if you want to register your staff, your entire staff, definitely it's going to be cut down more from the 150,000 naira price to something cheaper. Okay, so get as many people, equipped with this skill as possible, and then, you can take it to the next level. But the good part about this is we are not just limited to data analytics and, AI engineering. Scientific business as a whole, ventures into different aspects of training. So data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, HR analytics, software, DevOps, like all those are also things that we handle. So if you want a more customized training, especially like for owners, HR, you can reach out to us. We'll send you more information on how we can get this customized training done. It could be physical, virtual, hybrids, self-paced, whatever mode you want us to work with, we can also get that done. So it's very, very important, for the open program itself. This is something to kick it off, especially for your staff, to get started as soon as possible. Okay, so if basically you want to reach out to me, you need further clarity, or maybe you need clarity on what parts to go ahead with, okay? You're a data analyst, or you're someone that owns a business and you want to get into tech and you're not sure about how to do or how to go about it. My colleagues will also drop my Calendly link so that you can book a session. We can have a discussion. Even if you are HR, CEO, whatever cadre you're in, and then you need us to discuss before you have the training for your organization, please go ahead to book the session, or you can send an email to me at treasure@analytics.org. If you want to connect with me on social media, I'm on LinkedIn. My name is Yesomi Akyopo on LinkedIn. You find me there as well. We can get started on the conversation. I'm super, super excited. I don't know if there are any questions so far before we call it a day, because I can still see some hands raised. Thank you for staying with me for a very short presentation. Yeah, Abraham, I don't know if that's a question for me. Who's sharing their screen? Can anyone hear me? Abraham, please go ahead with your question. Hi, Abraham. I can see your hand raised.
No, I don't have any question.
Okay. All right. So, Charity, your hand is raised. Any question?
It's not a question. I just need assistance.
Okay. Please, what do you
I've
need
typed it
assistance
in
with?
the. So the assistance is
In the
I
chat?
need access to my DA classes for June 2024 cohort. If you can,
You
if people
need
can
access.
make it available. Yes, for
Access.
my DA classes. My DA classes for
Okay, for
2024
10
June. Yes. I've done it already,
Okay.
but I was kind of choked.
Okay. So, Charity,
Yeah.
please, did you fill the form so that I can also speak to the team and then they can
Yes, I
assist you
did.
properly?
I
Okay.
think
All
it's
right. All right.
Khadija.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll reach out to her so that they can provide you access and let you know the necessary steps for you to take. Okay.
Better, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So Oluwaseyi, please go on with your question. Hi, Oluwaseyi. Your hand is raised. Oluwaseyi, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm just going to lower your hands because I can't hear anything. Osinachi, if you are there, please unmute your mic and go on with your question.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. I want to ask if I'm not financially stable to enroll for this class, when next again will you start something like this again?
Okay, so we are going to be having the class every month. So the next one will be by August ending. So if you can't register for July cohort, you move over to the August cohort. But it would be good to, also pay some level of
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, Shay, please go on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Oluwaseyi, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if it's your network,
Can you
but
hear
I
me
can hear
now?
you clearly. Can anyone hear me? Because I'm pretty sure I'm audible. Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we are audible. We are audible. Yes.
Okay, Oluwaseyi, we can't hear you, but you can type in the chat for us to. You can type in the chat if you know, because we can't hear you at the moment. Oh,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can hear me.
Wow, and I can hear you.
Yeah, Oluwaseyi, please just type in the chat. Yes, please just type in the chat. I'll take your questions. There.
Okay.
Hi, Peter.
Yeah, actually.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Please, I want to ask about this training, the one that runs.
I can hear you clearly.
Which one? Can hear you. Please just type in the chat, Oluwaseyi. We can't hear you. It's disrupting the meeting at this point. Sorry, Peter, please go on.
All right. So I want to ask that the full Tenalytics class, how is it? How do you put it in comparison to this one that we are doing for business professionals? Like, does it measure up together? You understand what I'm saying? Like this one that we have at the month end, does it also help you to get data jobs? Does it position you for the same kind of value or skills or experience you'll be getting with the normal program? Analytics runs, they see data at least 3 months, or those ones like that. Comparing, I understand that you're trying to make out these to help busy professionals, but does it measure up at the end of the day? We don't have anything to worry about even when we're opting for this one. Thank you, Treasure.
All right, thank you so much, Peter. And that's a very fantastic and valid question. So for people that might be wondering what Peter is referring to, so Tenalytics business is the business aspect of Tenalytics itself. So Tenalytics offers, the trainings that I've mentioned, we offer it, but at a longer period of time. So one thing that I would like to assure you 100% on this call is we don't get involved in things that is watered down in value. Tenalytics itself, why the courses are so long in that particular regard is because of the internship aspects, and it is majorly focused at individuals looking to get a job. Tenalytics business is focused on individuals looking to get a job, as well as professionals that are working and looking to upskill or move to a different industry entirely. So one thing I'll assure you is this is the same certificates that you're getting in Tenalytics that you're also getting in Tenalytics business. And as you know, Tenalytics business or Tenalytics is recognized by the American Training Institute, and it's an internationally recognized body. So it's a certificate that you can use for applications, within Nigeria, within Africa, abroad, and things in that regard. Okay. For the practical aspect of the training, it's the same method. It's basically the same facilitators that take classes in Tenalytics that are the ones that are taking Tenalytics business. So 100% it is not watered down. Would also assist you with the employability aspect, okay, would give you tips just the same way we have it in Tenalytics. The only reason why Tenalytics is longer is because it's tailored for people looking to get jobs, and what we're trying to curate here is tailored for individuals that either already have job, or even if you're looking to get job but you don't have as much time to go that 6 months or 3 months. We sort of like shorten the time, but you are getting the same level of value, the same certificates, that you'd get in Tenalytics. I don't know if that answers your question, Peter.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Peter. So does that mean you are joining us for July 30th? I'm going to put you on the spot. Hi, Peter. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Does that mean you want to join for the course starting in July?
Yeah, I'm considering joining because I've been on Tenalytics meeting several, like during the time of Tenalytics, before the Tenalytics business, the cost has been a big issue. So now that there's even Tenalytics business, it's really amazing for we that understand how Tenalytics was coming. So definitely I'm considering it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Peter. We'll follow up with you and ensure that you join us in this session. Thank you for your question. All right, let's have Orone. Please, I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Please go on with your question.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
Okay,
so I want to find out the training that runs for 6 months. What's the period of the training? Then what's the period of the internship? And the price, is it the same thing with this other one you mentioned?
All right, thank you so much, Orone. It's okay, we're back to Tenalytics question. So Tenalytics is basically, like I said, 6 months or 8 months. So you'd basically be doing, 4 months in class and 2 months internship for that particular aspect. And just to clarify, Tenalytics charges in dollars and not in naira. So our price is $900 and $750 discounted price. So I'm very sure you can see the difference in pricing and why it's kind of the way it is. So $750 for that for the entire 6 months. But right now we're trying to tailor to the Nigerian market because Tenalytics did start from Nigeria before moving to Canada. And we also want to be able to give back because we are all working professionals and we want to try to give back to our community as much as possible. That's why we have the business arm that is majorly, not majorly, but we're focused, in Nigeria and Africa at the moment and try to have our pricing, fixed in that regard. I hope that clarifies.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, Orone, are you there?
Yes,
All right.
said
So are we looking to have this program? Hi, Orone.
I can't say for now. I can't say for now.
Absolutely.
I have to do some
No
considerations.
worries. Absolutely. So thank you so much for your questions. Any further questions before we call it a day? I've loved the engagement so far. Any questions? Okay. Hi, Daniel. Daniel, please go on with your question. Hi, Daniel.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my question goes like this. I've seen a program there for students that okay, I want to ask that program what I see there is for 3 days. So
it's for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, 3 weeks. So I don't know if that program, if someone that doesn't have any basic knowledge about data analysis, like he can participate, or it's just for people that have basic knowledge about it can do that course. Because currently I'm doing a master degree in AI. So honestly, I'm just lost with everything that is going on. So I can't even understand. So I don't know if I can participate on that one. So
okay. Sorry, let me clarify. Are you talking about the Student Open Program or the Corporate Open Program?
Yeah, the students.
Okay. Okay, so for the Student Open Program, it's 3 weeks, but we're just having it 2 days in the 3 weeks for you to learn. And like I earlier mentioned, it is always catered for people that don't have time. That's the whole point of this conversation, because we know a lot of people do not have time, but we want to make sure that they are still able to get as much value and we're able to take this training. And it's not about you coming to learn what is Excel, what is row, what is column, what is function. We're not doing that. Basically, what we're doing is practicals, end-to-end practicals for you to be able to get those skills. So for that particular aspect, it's just a couple of hours in a day. You take the training, you go and do your class activities, and you send it back to your facilitator. If you want to have like one-on-one conversations, that's still on the table. There's a self-paced aspect, like I showed you the LMS system. You can watch the videos as well. So we try to employ all these activities so that you don't have to sit down from 9 to 5 just basically looking at your screen to learn. You can learn at your own pace, and that's the idea behind what we're doing right now. I hope that clarifies.
Yeah. My question, someone that doesn't have any basic knowledge concerning about data analysis, whether he can participate or just for people that already knows everything about, because what I understand is that AI, we talk about AI to have a basic knowledge of data analysis, because you'll be able to, because the higher version of data analysis.
Okay, all right. Sorry if I missed your question. So to respond to your question, our program is on the foundation of beginner friendly. So we are going to be starting from the very basics of the conversation. We build on the foundation, and then you move over to AI engineering. Before you start learning any LLM tool, whether it's Claude or ChatGPT or Julius or whatever LLM tool you'll be using, you start off with the basics. So Excel, row, column, how to make use of the different functions, how to clean your data. You start off with that, and then you grow before you now get to pivot tables and dashboarding. Do you understand, Daniel?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you in the Student Open Program. Thank you so much. So let's have, thank you. Hi, Kabirat or Adetoim. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. Please, can you?
Kabirat. Good evening,
sorry. Yeah, good evening.
Yes, I'm section. Okay, I hear me clearly, ma.
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go.
Okay, my question is that okay, if the distance for the students now is it just for only these cohorts or to maybe during maybe when we are ready, the discount is still available. When is the deadline for the discounts for the students? That's my
Okay,
question,
thank you.
ma.
All right, thank you. So for the discount for the students, we're going to have it up until August 5th. That should be the deadline for that particular training. So the program is starting by August 11th. So we're going to run it as much as possible. If you want to deposit a certain amount just to secure your spots, that's also very much acceptable before that time. Yeah, that's it. Kabirat, are you there? Did you catch that? Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
hello, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. I don't know if Kabirat can hear me. But yeah, basically we'll have it till August, if you are there. So that's the response. Okay. Any other questions? Peter, I saw you raised your hand. Was that an error? Hi,
Oh,
Peter.
yeah, sorry, that was an error. Sorry.
All right. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for participating.
Sorry, ma. My phone just broke up. About this, like how much? Okay, it's about the that we can pay some of the money just to make clothes. But within the August, I will be having like exam and this thing. I may not be available for the class. Can I like after maybe after the cohort, I can continue the class if I paid some or part of the money.
Okay. All right. I think we can take the conversation out of here, so that we don't keep everyone on the call. If you feel the attendance for, yeah, someone will reach out to you, and then they'll properly assist you on how to go about that. Okay.
All right, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions before we call it a day? And if you can't ask your questions on this call, like I mentioned, my Clarity call, Calendly link is also in the chat. So you can go ahead to schedule a call, and then we can discuss and clarify any questions that you might have. Okay, thank you everyone for joining today's session. I'm very sure we had an exciting session end to end. We learned so much when it comes to workflow, data analytics, the different tools. We are looking forward to those that will be joining us for the open program, be it as a student or as a working professional. This is a time to actually key into that, and we would love to have you in that particular session. Thank you so much for the wonderful messages you've been sending so far. You can continue to follow us on any of our social media platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, whatever, Tenalytics Business or Tenalytics, basically, and then we'll provide you support as much as we can. That being said, it is 9:29, and I'm going to end the call by 9:30. If there's any other thing, please let us know. If not, I think we can call it a wrap here. Looking forward to having you all in the session starting July 30th, and for the individual students, starting August 11th. All right, everyone, good night and have a great rest of your evening. Bye, everyone.